We will not copyright or trademark that. We do not have the rights to this at all. Please do not sue us. Thank you.
Welcome to These Unprecedented Gays, featuring Joe Granelli and Paul Smith. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, and review wherever you stream your podcasts. Check us out on Instagram at tugayspod and email us at tugayspod@yahoo.com. We hope you enjoy. Because he's from the military. So
does he have what is it called? Like the swearing mouth? What is that called? Oh my God. Sailor mouth. Swearing mouth?
I have a Sailor Moon mouth.
Oh boy.
What?
I just thought that.
What? Does that just... Wait, what are their superpowers?
They're all based on like
stars,
planets. Right? Yeah, no, it's planets. So it's like Sailor Moon, Sailor Neptune, Sailor Saturn, all that. So I don't know what their powers actually are.
Because they just do like maybe bright stuff.
Maybe Sailor Saturn has like gas powers, and or maybe she creates rings.
Oh, like 7 Rings by Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
Do you know that the rings of Saturn are disappearing?
God, are they really?
Is it because of our environment?
Is it climate change?
Global warming.
So wait, don't tell Greta.
She gets arrested like once a week.
I know.
I'm here for it though. Like, get a Greta.
She is like more thug than like Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg together.
I feel like she's been arrested probably like, I don't want to say 100 times, so like
pretty close
to it.
Yeah.
But then like 17 crimes of wine or whatever it's the brand.
Yeah.
Does she like get bailed out? Like who bails her out?
The world does.
It'll be green.
Mother
really?
Earth, Gaia.
Oh. Her GoFundMe. GoFund Greta.
So I'm Paul.
And I'm Joe.
And we're These Unprecedented Gays.
It is.
So how was your week, Joe?
I feel like I just got the sugar rush from the cookie.
We are testing. Right now we are Bon Appetit Test Kitchen.
But not with the toxicity of Bon Appetit.
Correct.
Where after they left Bon Appetit and like then started their own YouTube channels. Like Claire Saffis has her own YouTube channel now.
Yeah, Andy watches it a lot.
I do too. She's great. I mean, she needs to get a little dose of reality though, because when she was building her like winter home in like the upstate New York,
okay. Well, that's what happens.
Her studio.
It's almost like Ina Garden.
You know? I mean, but listen, I'm here for it. Listen, you do you, Claire. I still watch her recipes.
I like the way she explains things, and she really breaks down the science behind it too. So it's really easy to understand like why you're doing something. And don't just tell me to do it. Tell me why I'm doing it.
And she's like got a personality. Yeah. Well, I watched the one. I think it was like 45 minutes on her. It was like not New York Times. Cooking with New York, like there's a New York cooking thing, right? Like New York Times cooking.
Yeah,
I don't know.
New York Times cooking.
Right, and they did like she's like I'm gonna do an entire Thanksgiving meal, and I was like I'll watch this because that's what I. So I did that this week.
I love that she leaves in like her stuff that doesn't go right. You know.
Yeah. My favorite thing of hers was when she had to do like the copycat recipes when I know Bon Appetit wasn't good, but like she had to do like Pop-Tarts, and then like the whole running joke was like she always had to like temper chocolate, and she was like not a good chocolate temperer, and it was like
chocolate temperer. Or maybe
chocolate tempress.
Oh, there you go. Temptress.
So that was one thing I did this week.
Okay.
And then we did a play date with you and Baxter.
Yes, we did.
And Nick didn't poop his pants.
Wait, was I supposed to?
No, he sat on the. Yeah, there was a little bit of wet because we learned, by we I mean me and Nick, and the listeners now learned that your like fence provides a lot of shade for the like specific patch of grass. Yeah, and it doesn't get dried or like absorbed.
It stays moist,
right? For your pleasure.
It's supple.
You mean? I can't do it. Hiding in a closet.
Hiding in a closet.
Yeah, and then you like told us all about how you're going to change your sprinklers. So like
we have the most exciting conversation.
Okay, but like I find that stuff really interesting. Like this is like
We're
people
so
are probably like,
old.
wow, this is so boring. But like timing like the like this part first and then like this one, it's like an art form.
You make it sound like we just sat around like drinking iced tea on the like old white guys on the porch going, yeah, going to change my my timing on my sprinklers. Yeah.
It's fun watching Max like get to interact with younger dogs though too. To kind of like switch the roles, right? Like,
Yeah.
To be like, oh man.
And we also learned that your dog has an armpit fetish.
And he's racist.
Oh, and he's racist, but you knew that already.
We already knew that. Max is a dog of color and has a lot of internalized racism.
But we're trying to break that.
Right. Yeah, because there were two ladies, or maybe
non-binary. Maybe
there were two
thems.
human beings that stopped by, and one of them was of a darker complexion, melanated, and Max did not like them and barked.
Very sad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Max needs to learn to love all people.
Yes.
But not Republicans.
Maybe that's he could tell that they were Republican.
I don't believe so. And then the other thing is that I am like trying to learn how to crochet. I talked about this a little bit. And as of today, it's hard. Like, so not it's not like a difficult thing, but like
old ladies do it. It can't be
but
that
like
hard.
it is time consuming.
So instead of a scarf, we're all gonna get little like doilies, like little like
Actually,
not
a
even.
hot plate holder.
It's funny you say that because he's been working on it. Like he's like, I want to make you a scarf. It's just fun and cute. And then he gets to it's like a square. He's like, actually, maybe a pot holder is good.
It's a pocket square.
Like because it like you do like a row and you're like, I've made no progress. And then you do another one and you're like, okay, maybe it's like a millimeter.
People do this while they're waiting at the DMV. How can it be that hard?
Well, and it's like very intensive too. Like my eyes are dry because I'm not blinking enough, and like my neck is like crunched down because I'm like trying to get the right angle.
But as you get good at it, you move a lot faster, and
so.
you don't even have to think about it.
Yeah, you could
Yeah.
be watching. You could be watching Reba,
I'm hoping to get for that.
or watch Claire, and you can be crocheting as you're watching Claire.
Okay, that was also what happened. But last night, Reba, I had such a weird dream. Like, I had a dream that I had to drop my car off to get an oil change, which it doesn't need that anymore because it's electric. And I went to AutoZone for whatever reason, and I leave for something, and then I come back and my car's gone. And I was like, "Where's my car?" And then
It
they're
drove
like,
off on its own.
Well, no, Reba McEntire took my car because she thought it was her loaner car for her service. So then I had to text her and go to her house in like the middle of nowhere. And she like welcomes me in and she has like 700 children and grandchildren. And I was like, okay, like I just want my car.
Because she's a mom who works too hard.
Right.
And loves her kids.
And I was like, I just want my car. She's like, I'm so sorry. Like, here's all the things that you need. Here's your car, whatever. And I was like, cool. And she's like, do you want to come to Easter? And I was like, okay.
Let me get back to you on that.
But I was, and then the crazy thing too is like on the Apple Word crossword puzzle thing, Reba was an answer. So I was like having a little bit of psychic.
Oh my God.
Right. So I don't know if you're a listener that knows like dream interpretations, please like write us what that means. What does that mean? Like, I have no clue. Like how to interpret that.
Was she driving the car
No.
down a long, narrow tunnel?
No. Although there was a bright white light that she was preventing me going to.
Right there.
A bright white light. That's your track name. I think that was it. Yeah, that was nothing too fancy.
You have the most exciting life.
I do. Yeah.
Learning to crochet.
Right.
It's really it's teaching him patience and to slow down a little bit.
Nope, it's not.
No.
I was gonna say it's not working.
No, I think that I also today looked up like crochet machines, like if they have something that can do it faster.
So
What?
I think it's more of the journey.
So they have knitting machines.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of intrigued by them. They're like $50. You get them on Amazon, and you like turn a crank, and it like makes beanies. And I'm like, maybe I could be like a knitter instead of a crochet gang.
okay.
So that was me. How are you? What was your week like?
The the most exciting thing is Max came over and played with Max. And then we booked our wine tour for our trip to New Zealand and stuff. So I'm excited about that.
Is it like a whole day thing?
So there's a little island that you take a ferry to. It's like 40 minutes to off from Auckland, and they have a bunch of different wineries there. It's called Waiheke, or something like that. So
not Waikiki,
but Waiheke.
Oh, God bless you.
Something like that. So they have a couple of wineries, and it's walkable once you get on the island and stuff like that. So we're gonna go check that out. So yeah, we watched a bunch of YouTube videos about it and stuff like that. So we're gonna go do that.
Is it like the Sonoma of New Zealand?
No,
or like wine country?
There's a lot of different wine regions in New Zealand. They make a lot of wine. So on the north side, mostly like white wines and rosés. And then I think the farther south you go, the climate changes a little bit and more reds. And but all of the wine in New Zealand, like there's no one dominant region. There's pretty much anywhere you go, you're going to find a very good wine.
I was going to say, so are they known for good wine?
Yeah, imagine that all of New Zealand is Napa and Sonoma.
Really?
Yeah, there's no dominant region. There's only sub-regions.
Oh, yeah. I love a good below.
And we're going to be in the Southern Hemisphere. I'm so excited. Like, I keep forgetting that it's in the Southern Hemisphere, so I'm just like...
You know, the toilet water spins the other way.
No, it does not.
Yes, it does.
Does it?
Yeah.
I'm going to wash my pool.
I thought that
Also, be careful for bugs. Like, just be safe.
Giant bugs, yeah.
Wait. Have you been in the Southern Hemisphere before?
No.
Have I been in the Southern Hemisphere?
Have you been in my Southern Hemisphere before?
Yes. Wait. Maybe Mexico.
No, Mexico's not in the Southern Hemisphere.
Oh.
You have to go south of Ecuador.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
South of... You have to go to
You'd have
Ecuador
to go
or
to
south
Ecuador.
of the equator.
Yeah.
I've done Venezuela and Sydney, Australia.
Oh, Peru.
Asia. Different countries in Asia, I think, are all south.
Oh, wow. There's not a lot of... Oh, I mean, we can go to Africa.
Okay.
Ooh, Madagascar.
Madagascar.
They have great... Okay. Why are you from Spain?
You know, because...
Madagascar.
There was an episode of Will and Grace, and Grace was talking about how she was in a debate club, or Model UN, and she used to make fun of a person who had a lisp. And the name of their country was Madagascar.
Oh, no.
But... You know, because of the lisp, it comes out a different way.
The lisp.
Yes. So that's my week. So
Stunning.
now we can get into what's giving us life. That means we're time for mouth to mouth. Mouth to mouth resuscitation.
Ooh, you did it fast.
I know, because like Baxter's over there like chewing down on that bully stick.
He's got his mouth to mouth.
That's what's giving him life, is a bully stick. Okay.
The smell does not give
I know, it doesn't work.
And he likes to sit on your lap and eat it.
And you get it all over yourself.
Oh my god, I don't know. Like I've gotten the unscented ones before, and they're still not good.
No.
Yeah, no, thank you.
So what's giving you life, Joe?
So the first one is the surprise lady. On Instagram. Surprise. And it's like not any of the meat. It's like an earworm that just is stuck in your head.
Yeah.
And it apparently was like a talk show.
Oh, okay.
And so at the end of the talk show, she would like sing the like, what, theme song or whatever?
Okay.
And like that's what that's all from.
Or jingle. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
Her little, that one.
Wow.
That one. And then there's like a challenge of people going around of trying to jump without bending their knees. And like watching them, because like you'll see like gym bros are like, I could get 8 inches, I could do a foot, and then it's like you can't jump high. So that's giving me life too, because it's like watching people get served karma.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, it is Patrick singing R&B. Patrick from SpongeBob SquarePants singing R&B songs on TikTok.
I love that.
It is hilarious.
What?
It is
They're
like
so great.
They're so funny. It's just like this whole thing where it's like you get Patrick singing
Like AI.
They like done it so it's like, you know, in Patrick's voice, but it's like him singing R&B songs. It's hilarious.
I'll have to look.
Yeah,
at it
you have to look
after.
for it on TikTok.
They have those AI voices are really convincing.
Yeah, they are. And then the other thing that's giving me life is De La Soul's first album, 3 Feet High and Rising, is now on Spotify. It was not on streaming networks before for a long time due to rights and with issues with the record company and stuff like that. So now it's out on Spotify, and I'm so excited because.
But you don't have the CD?
No,
Not
I
anymore.
did. I used to have the tape. Girl. in my Walkman, I used to walk around with it.
Oh, yes,
on
you
my
did.
on my belt
With a clip?
Yeah.
With your headphones? With the big headphones?
No, they were the ones with the orange, the cover on it, like the orange, like foamy cover that you would get on there. Yeah, they would be orange. It had to be orange.
Okay.
Because that's the ones that came with Sony.
Because that's what Sony sold. Right?
Exactly. But like, I used to listen to that tape, and that was like one of those like quintessential albums that like helped form who I am.
De La Soul?
De La Soul. So like their big song off of that one was Me, Myself, and I, and then they had a bunch of other ones. And it was also like, because I'm a huge Hall & Oates fan, one of their songs they sample Hall & Oates, and I'm like, that's just amazing to me.
Is the Me, Myself, and I the one? That's all I got till I found you? Me, myself, and I, that's all I got?
No.
Till I found you? No?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Well,
but
then
thanks for playing.
Guess I don't know.
So the good thing is that we have it's the end of, like, this is the day after Thanksgiving, and that means it's the start of the holiday season because the Macy's Day Parade happened.
Yeah, the
and
holidays.
You know who closes out the Macy's Day Parade?
SpongeBob. No.
He is. I think
Mariah.
he is.
Actually, I think Mariah Carey did it last year.
No, actually, I think SpongeBob is one of the last floats, I think, in the parade.
Didn't Mariah Carey finish it off last year?
No, she never finishes it off. No
She's
one.
second to
only
last.
one person finishes it off.
Who?
Santa.
Hey, Santa.
And we have Santa.
The real one.
Are we allowed to say that?
Why not?
I don't know.
I would say authentic.
An authentic.
Correct.
Yes.
He's real in our hearts.
So why don't you introduce yourself, Santa, to all of our listeners out there?
Well, hello. I guess it would be bad to go ho, ho, ho
Well,
to begin with.
Since there's 4 of us.
Yeah.
Well, ho, 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 ho.
Look like that movie getting
Hi, I'm the Santa Kurt.
Santa Kurt.
So how are you guys doing?
Good, and you go
Don't
by...
lie because I know what you've been doing.
Oh my god.
I posted do you see the meme I posted the other day on Instagram? I'm like, you acted like this when you know Santa's about to come to town. All right. So we have Santa here, so we have some questions for him because we want to know. Kurt does Santa meet and greets and other Santa-esque
professional
performances and appearances here in San Diego. So let's start off with why.
Oh.
We're just gonna jump right into it. I want to.
That wasn't even like a. So walk me through how you decided to jump into the profession. Why?
Well,
Why?
from what I know of Paul, that is his soft opening. Why?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I would tell you that when I got out of the service and I did time in the Navy, I allowed my beard to grow and it came in white. And I had previously had a tradition with my family and my boys of wearing the Santa hat after Thanksgiving. So, if all I had was a mustache, it never really showed through. But when you have a white beard and then white hair, people look at you a little differently. And especially in that time of the season is one where even without the hat on, the white beard and white hair, kids are looking at you. And it's this gleam in the eye of, I wonder if. So that I would start playing that role and just kind of looking at them and wink, and then I'd say, have you been good this year? And it just cascaded and rolled through. And it also helped me being someone from the Midwest and living out here now where you don't have season change, right? You don't have the climate coolness and the fall colors to kind of induce you into that mind thought of Christmas is coming. And this is kind of my way to try to get into the Christmas spirit, and then to give back to people and enjoy that moment of sparkle in not only in kids' eyes but also in adults, because whenever you get around an adult and I'm in the suit, they instantly and mentally and emotionally go back to when they were a kid.
We did that for Nick. Nick was so surprised when we called him because we were doing Zoom calls.
Oh my God,
COVID.
I remember that. I remember you did that, but I was on a bike ride. You're like, "Are you busy right now?" And I was like, "I'm on a bike ride."
It was so fun. Santa called me, and all of a sudden you're just like taken back to this like.
And he didn't know why, so it was just like...
I feel like I always get not like nervous because I've done something bad, but I'm always like, oh my God, have I been good? Like, what are all the things that I've done that, like, did I cut off someone when I was driving? Like, I know I yell at people, but like, have I been a good boy?
Yeah. Well, it gives you that moment of reflection, even if it's just instantaneous, to say, okay, what have I done? And in the other part of that for me is that come from a large family, lived in the country, so we were, food stamps, poor, church help with Christmas gifts, things like that. And I'd always had this mental image growing up that Santa was somebody you could never get your hands around. And that just allows me to come back and maybe give that to somebody else, is that image and that moment. Because they may not have Christmas, or they may have family members who are away from home, and it gives them that moment.
And that's what you give them.
Yeah, I try.
Aww.
I try.
Touching. We're pulling. Oh my God, pulling at the heartstrings of our audience. Is that the thing? Right?
Yeah.
Tug.
Tuggy. That's what we do here. Tuggers and tugettes.
Okay, so you talked about the beard. Like, you just decided to grow it one day and then you kept it ever since?
Well, that was kind of a gift to myself when I left the Navy because, having to I'm hairy as you can tell, but to shave every day
yeah,
is a drag. And I said, I've done this for 23 years. I don't want to do this for a whole year. And I went for a whole year, and people started asking my wife, who's the homeless guy?
Oh, no.
So then, but they stopped as soon as you put a red hat on.
Oh, God.
Then it's not homeless, then it's Santa Claus.
That's like the game in Hillcrest, homeless or hipster.
Maybe we should hand out Santa Claus hats along University.
Well, the beard's got to be white. Like, so do you keep it, like, ever since then? Have you kept your beard the whole time?
I've had facial hair since I left the Navy.
Okay.
At the end of Christmas season, which is usually, a week or so after Christmas, or after New Year's, then I'll either trim it down and just a goatee or just change it up. Because you do kind of want to step away from Santa.
Yeah.
And you want to just go, okay, I'm away from it. That's the character or the image that I'm portraying in that time period. And then, it's off season. Sort of like, what are you celebrating Christmas before Thanksgiving? The same thing afterwards.
Hot take.
Well, you can also ask him who else he looks like throughout the year.
I don't know.
Colonel Sanders.
Oh.
No.
But don't ask him for that recipe of 13 herbs and spices.
Special.
Oh my God. Okay, stop it. Are you just like constantly cosplaying? Are you not a Colonel Sanders impersonator too?
No,
we got him up on the screen.
I've done it. I don't know if you've got it on there.
100%.
But that was one of the things that one year I said, hey, I want to do this because I was going back to Kentucky to hang out with some of my fraternity brothers.
Oh my God, I love that.
And
oh, that's so funny.
And I said, hey, I should try this. And we have our yearly party, and I went that year as that, and Paul actually helped me get the tie.
Oh, you're helping everyone.
I do try to help out as much as I can.
You help Santa out. So how long have you been, I guess, I don't want to say impersonating. How long have you been doing
Santa?
Appearances and...
So I actually went to Santa Claus University last year.
SCU, got it. Okay.
Yeah. And that
was quick.
that was a blast because there were all these other guys there, and some of them had their wives that were there because their wife plays Mrs. Claus or helps out.
Does your wife play Mrs. Claus?
No, she does not.
Okay.
She takes care of the business side of it, or wants to involve with the FaceTimes and things like that.
Oh wow. Okay.
But she doesn't want to be Miss Claus.
Okay. Good for her. Good job, boundaries.
Yeah, But went to Santa Claus University and enjoyed that a lot. But I didn't get a suit until about 4 years ago, and that was three maybe 4 years ago. Yeah. And my sister had made the suit, and it was kind of the classical suit. And then I went to the Santa Claus University, and I was like, okay, I'm wearing hand-me-downs.
Oh no!
Yeah, the suits can run $1,200.
Yeah, they are
not cheap. And there's a place in LA that makes them. You go in and you get fit and tailored professionally.
Wow!
And the boots that I have cost me almost $1,000. They're handmade boots.
Oh my God!
I mean, you've got to think like these people.
Well, but your feet aren't growing, so they'll be good for a while.
No, they're not. But having never had a pair of shoes made like that, we followed the directions. And what we should have done was give it a little bit of room because they are rock solid tight.
Well, and all of these things are built to last.
I was going to ask,
Yeah. And then you've got all the fur lining and stuff like that on the trim and everything.
Handmade, right?
And you got to have gloves. You got to have all that
gloves,
kind of stuff.
belt.
So are they like dry clean only?
Dry clean only.
Yeah, because I imagine it's warm under those.
It does get warm. Now, my Santa Claus friends who do this on the East Coast and the Midwest, they'll have theirs lined so it actually helps to keep some of the heat in.
That makes sense.
Here, a very thin lining, but even with that, you can get pretty hot pretty quick. And if you've got kids that are sitting on your lap, you always run the risk of people having accidents. And that's why
I just didn't even think of that. Oh my God!
Well, that's why at the university, these were stuff at the university that I was like, okay. And most of the guys up there had 3 to 4 suits apiece, so that they could go from one day, have one in the dry cleaners, and then get another one back, and then go forward from there.
This is an expensive hobby.
Can you have one that's not just the basic red and white? Like, can you have one that's white with like swirls and everything?
Yeah, no, and that's just it. Is that you can kind of do if you were to look up international Santa Clauses,
which you were just doing,
you'll see them from different countries, and they have different throwbacks to them.
Oh.
Germany's a little different.
Oh my God, you should get one of those like duster jackets, like Kurt Russell wears in like that Santa movie on Netflix. It's like the long
right.
Oh
Santa
yeah. Ooh, a cape.
So this year the one I have is a cape. But see, there's some of the different. That's the you have difference all over the place.
Wow.
The Santa Claus University. There's a guy there that we met who's also a Santa Claus, and he set up Red Sleigh Santa, and it's a nonprofit group. But he is a Hollywood set designer and set maker his entire life up to this, and he actually made that sleigh. So we have a picture of the group in that sleigh.
Wow.
And he also made the ornament it's not an ornament, but it's the animated elf on the shelf I was going to bring over, but I forgot to charge it again.
Funny.
And it's got like a little fob that you can push it and it'll turn its head.
Oh God, that creeps me out.
Well, it's great when you're telling the stories though with the kids.
Yeah.
And the kids look up and you go, did Elf on the Shelf Joe, is he checking on me? And you tell the story and bring the kids into it.
Okay.
So there's all kinds of stuff that he does. Courtney does at his shop. He's got the pixie dust that he makes. It's a little jar, and it's lit, and it's different colors. So you can go, I have to use this one to get up the flue. I have to use this one on the reindeer to get the reindeers to fly.
I'm just seeing $signs, yo. I feel like for the what you get out of it, it's like priceless, right?
Yeah, it is, and that's the beginning of it, and I think that's the way that I'm going to continue it. My wife said, if you want to do this, I'm all behind it, but you're not going to make any money on it.
Oh.
So what we try to do with our FaceTimes and whatnot is we will have a charge, and then we take 90% of that charge, and we find out a charitable organization that you want, and then we send them that 90% of the cost for the call to them in your name.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's really cool because we did this like over Zoom. We started doing this a couple of years ago during COVID, where like we couldn't have anybody a gathering or something for Christmas, so we just sent out to people like, hey, if you want a call from Santa, we're going to do it on these days. Pick a time. Send us any information you have that you want to give us about your kids that you want him to talk about. Anything like you want to congratulate them on. Anything you think that they should work on. Like if they need to start working on school or
do your homework, Martha.
Yeah, exactly. Like, hey, Brandon, I've heard you haven't been doing your homework. It's like those kind of things where it was cool because people are like, Santa just called me,
then you donate to the charitable organizations,
right? So if you said, hey, I want you to call, and I would go, okay, well, tell me about your kid or the person you want me to call about. All right, so you'd make it more personalized as opposed to being in line at the mall.
Oh yeah,
right, And then you go, okay, well, what organization would you like us to donate to in your name? And that, like I said, it's that 10% that we keep off of it dry cleans my outfit.
Yeah.
Pays for
overhead,
the time, just the overhead stuff.
Yeah.
And that allows, it's fun when you call kids. And the way I've set it up is that the parents know, right? And that the kids don't know.
Yeah.
So I'll send my picture to the parent on their FaceTime, and I tell them to put it in their phone as Santa Claus, right? So and we've done this where they're sitting around at dinner and they're talking, and mom or dad knows the call's coming at a set time, and then they go, and they show the picture, and it says Santa Claus.
How funny.
And then the kids are all freaked out because I know what they did that day.
Oh!
I know that
when they were sleeping. Whenever the rest of the song
when they're
is.
Awake, when they're asleep,
Thank
and all
you.
that stuff. Right.
Good. He's got the right. The lyrics.
But the kids, the response that we've had is always, the younger ones will run and hide because they're just like, oh my, that's and they freaked out about it.
Right.
But they're popping their head around somebody's leg, or they're popping their head around the couch or the table, and then as they get a little older, they go, how do you? Yeah. I did have cookies this morning. How did you know that? Right? And they don't put together.
Me?
Right? They don't put together that their parents know it. Their parents told me, and that's part of that thing. Now I've had one college buddy who I did this for 3 years ago, and then the first year the kid hid. The second year his son was more into it, and then he texted me and said, when are we going to do this? Because he goes, when am I going to get called from Santa? When is Santa going to call? And he knows. And another person said, that their daughter told all their friends.
Oh my God.
And said, I met the real one. He knew all of your names. He knew this. He knew that. It's not the mall Santa who doesn't know us. And they just get ecstatic about it.
Yeah.
And, when I said earlier, come back to that, it reminds you of your childhood. That's the memory.
Yeah.
Well, that person 20 years from now is going to be telling a story of, Santa Claus used to call me every year.
Telling their kids.
Yeah.
Telling their kids. And it kind of comes back to the Polar Express where, he gets the bell and he hears the bell. And as you get older, you forget what that sound is because you don't hear it.
Ball.
Right?
But Polar Express is scary.
So, but it has
I love the Polar Express. That's a great movie.
You need to watch the movie.
Hot chocolate. Hot chocolate. And Josh Groban sings the song. Believe Believe, Paul.
Believe. That's right. Ted Lasso. As the adult, you go back to those childhood memories.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
And you hope to share some of that with your kids or your partner or whoever, like because that creates like a core memory.
Absolutely. Well, and then I think the bringing back to the nostalgia part is something that like I don't feel like we get that opportunity often as adults to feel like a kid, Yeah. So that kind of, I feel like that's why people enjoy that.
Well, I also think that there's a magic in childhood, and Santa's a great kind of epitome of that magic.
Innocence.
As you become an older person, you lose all the magical parts of your life.
Preach, Andy.
I'm so magical.
Preach.
You're magical.
Hello.
You don't. You go from magic to cynic.
So, talk about some of the things that you learned that was a surprise for you in Santa University.
SCU.
So the biggest surprise to me was the amount of money that people will spend if they have it to give their kids something because they want to give their kids something that they didn't have. In the example, one of the main guy who was running it is known as Tim Coughlin. He's known as the United States Santa.
Oh.
And he lived in L.A. for a long time, and he would tell us about the celebrities that he would go and do parties for, right? And he goes, it's just unreal, the extent of money that's kind of thrown at kids.
How much money are we talking?
Well, for their parties, it was just unreal.
Over the top parties.
The last one you were talking about quinceañeras and all that stuff. He tells us, or if I remember right, he told us a story of doing Christmas for the Kardashians, and the first time he did it, he said that they had the gift bags and the swag for the kids were literally cars, not real cars, but cars that they could run around.
Oh my God.
And they wanted him to just kind of go, okay, here, babysit the kids. And he's like, that's not what I do.
Oh my God.
Right. The LA Rams, Santa Claus was there. Big man, huge. Could play football. He was that big, And then the other things were just the stories behind how people like myself got to that point, and wanted to do it. And when it comes to the business side, it's learning how to do entertainment, and I had no clue. There's something called a gig salad, where you can go on Gig Salad and you can order any type of entertainment thing that you would like to have. You like Santa Claus, or you like a magician, or you like whatever it is, and they've got like a brief of this is who it is,
really?
How much it costs, what they do.
Gig Salad.
And you put yourself on there so people can.
Put yourself on there so people can find it. Now haven't done that yet.
Okay,
but it's those little business things, the business side of it versus how to do it. Now the being Santa Claus more emotional side, there was one guy who was telling us about he only works at senior citizens homes, and senior citizen homes and hospitals for kids, and that would be even tough for me in my other profession of being able to go in and try to have that presence of dealing with a very sick child or someone who may not make it home, or the request of Santa to, make my mommy better, make my daddy better.
I don't have the emotional strength to do that.
Right, and that takes a lot, and it's knowing what you emotionally, mentally are capable of doing.
Yeah.
And then lastly,
and how to navigate those questions.
I was going to ask, because have you had that? Like,
they talk about that, and they said you never promise anything.
Yeah.
Other than you listen, you take it in, and then you talk about the things that give them joy.
Yeah.
Right. So you want to change that question scenario back to, what are you doing for Christmas, and what are you doing here? What are some of the things that Santa can give?
Yeah.
And when I do my calls, I always ask them, tell me what you might be getting your child for Christmas, so I know what's on the list, so that when parents write from Santa, I can go, so you really wanted that remote control car. What color did you want it? And they've already bought it, so they tell me, and I go, oh, you really like a green remote car? Okay. And write it down in my book, and they're excited because then they wake up that day and they're like, it says from Santa, and it's a green remote control car. That's what I told him I wanted. And they go from there.
So how long, like, preparation-wise, like, so you start, prepping in November?
I got to start growing the beard out. The older I get, I have to grow the beard out quicker. It used to be I could grow it out from September, but now it's this past year.
August.
It's
July.
August. Yeah.
So, okay, because I was like, because you have, like, the physical aspects of it,
Right.
and then you have, like, the business aspects,
business
and then,
aspect.
like, each individual, like, call, because you don't do you do the physical appearances as well?
I do. This year we open that into what I do.
Okay.
The calls take probably about a half hour, 40 minutes. So we get the request, we send out the questionnaire, we get the questionnaire back, and then when we're doing the calls, it's written on a whiteboard so that we can, and it's behind me, behind the camera, so you can reading it.
I got it.
Right. And I do
I'm the
that.
cue card. I was the cue card person the first year. Like
You were. Yeah.
This is who you're talking to.
Oh my god!
But when you think about it, the business side of it also is, you've already started to see the Christmas commercials. Those are shot in June, July.
Oh
and
yeah,
August,
that's true.
right. So if I wanted to get into that part of it, then it would find an agent to represent me, and then have to have the beard then.
Oh wow!
To be able to do the acts
Right.
and do it from there.
Jesus, it seems like a lot of like intricate pieces falling into place.
Yeah, and those were things that I had no clue or concept about.
But did you learn that at SCU?
I learned that at Santa Claus University.
Does it
now-
say SCU as many times? Like,
And now, what do you? I mean, like when you're out, like during outside of the holiday season, and you're riding your motorcycle, or you're in the
wait!
grocery
You ride a
store.
motorcycle?
Yeah.
But do you write it as Santa?
No.
Oh, is that not allowed?
No, it's not that it's not allowed. It's not safe.
Oh. Wait,
It's
why is
not
it
a sleigh.
Why is it not safe? Is it just because you're
Because I'd have to have the suit on over the leather jacket and the other stuff.
His
a recipe for disaster.
he has a red
Yes.
Tesla, so it's fine. That's his
okay.
sleigh.
You're good.
I had the red sleigh.
So, but like, what do you say to people or kids when they see you out in like June?
Well, you'd be surprised. Nobody thinks about Santa then. If I had the red hat on, maybe if I had the red hat and a beard, they might look.
They
at
think
you.
you're an old guy.
They just think you're an
Well,
old
or
guy.
homeless. I think that's what you said,
Or
right?
homeless, right? But if I've got like I've got a red Santa cap, right, and it's got Santa's emblem, says "Believe" on it. If somebody looks at that and goes, and they look at me, then I kind of wink at them and go, and I'll hand them, a card, or I'll.
Do you always have them on you?
Always have them on.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I kind of picked up from SCU. Is that the guys will have different things. One had wooden coins, and this was the way that I kind of came into it was with the plastic ones. But before that, I would start out with kids at the grocery store with a hat, and they'd just stare or they'd point, and then I'd start talking to them, and I'd ask them if they're good, and then I'd put my hand in my pocket and come out, and I'd go, and I'd write, and I'd go, and then they go, Mom, is that true? Yeah. Oh, it's true. They've been really good. Okay. I'd fold it. I'd put it in my pocket, and they're like,
Oh my god. If that happened to me in real life, I would probably be like mortified just because I'm like, oh my god, this is happening.
Little Joey would have had a life-changing moment.
Right. I don't, yeah, like if like I don't want to say a random Santa, but like if someone comes up to me and says like, oh, have you been good? And I'm like,
well, okay, so
That's different when you're an adult.
Adults coming up to you asking you.
and I always kind of, it's led into by the parents
got it.
looking and saying, and then, if I'm when I travel and I'm in the airport, if I see kids that are being really good and well behaved, right? I've got the coins. I'll say something to their parents, and I'll go, "Hey, I'm professional Santa Claus, and your kids are doing really good, and I just want to let them remind them that Santa's always watching." And they're like, "Yeah, please, that'd be great." And
what parent doesn't want that to reinforce that behavior?
Right. That's right, Martha and Brandon.
But you never use it as a negative. You never go, as Santa, you never go, "This is what's going to happen. You're not getting that." You never give it as a negative.
He doesn't carry coal with him.
It doesn't mean that I don't know who's getting it.
But no, the coal. You keep the coal at home.
Yeah. It'll get dirty in your pants.
Right,
pockets.
yeah. You don't
your
want
white gloves get dirty.
Yeah, coal doesn't travel well. I don't think you can carry it on a plane either. It's not TSA compliant.
So, have you ever had a really difficult interaction, like one that didn't go the way you expected it to?
Yeah, I've had the ones where the kid is bouncing off the wall, and I'm trying to make a 20 because my calls will be about 15 to 20 minutes long, and I'm trying to keep their attention because they've given money for it, right, and the kid is just everywhere and not paying attention, or they're crying and they're panicking, right? So you've always got that you got to try to play with, and then you just kind of bring them back. You try to bring them back. What are you going to do for Christmas? You've got brothers and sisters, and how are they doing? You try to bring them back to the conversation and include them into it, so that they go, okay, yeah. And again, you know what their siblings' names are, and the siblings might jump in. Now, where it kind of gets into it is when you've got the 10 to 12-year-old who goes, yeah, I know this isn't real. But it's when you bring them into it and they see that their younger siblings having problems, that then they start going, no, I believe, and they go along with it.
Oh, that's a good sibling.
Yeah. But and you can look at it in many different ways. You can say, well, it teaches them, empathy and compassion for somebody else who is having a problem at the time. But, a lot of that comes down to just, how the parents are going to react too. Now, it doesn't matter if the kid's bouncing off, because the parent, even though they paid for it, they're reliving their childhood.
Right.
Right. And
it's like a little bit for everyone.
It's a little for everyone. And they get to watch it. Grandparents who give this to their grandkids, they just absolutely go nuts. They're like, and the kids will always go, well, how did you have Santa's number? And, I always tell the parents if the kids ask that afterwards, go, well, when you become a parent, Santa knows, and he has your telephone number.
Oh, how good is you? So you have all the answers.
I try to cover all the corners, and I always remind them in a text to say, okay, now change Santa Claus to my actual name, so that the kids can't get the phone and then call Santa Claus, and I answer it.
And then they go,
yeah, it's Santa Claus for you, but it's actually Christopher Kringle.
That's right.
So, can I call you Kris?
What is your goal with this? Some people you have the guy who is the Ram Santa Claus. You've got the guy who's the celebrity Santa Claus.
What's your 5-year plan?
My 5-year plan is to have this be something after my normal day job.
Yeah.
And when I'm done doing that thing is to be done and give me something to do afterwards, to both have fun with my kids, their kids, grandkids. And then, if you could dream on a star, would be, hey, somebody in Commercialville or Hollywood looks at it and goes, I like the look of that face. When I was much younger and thinner, I'd always go, well, Wilford Brimley didn't become a TV actor until he was over 50, right? So if I finish my other job and I'm in my mid 60s and I'm doing this, and somebody goes, hey, I think that would be a blast to do.
Would you put more? Because right now you obviously have your day job and
full-time job.
How much time do you say you're putting into Santa now?
At this point of the season, maybe 10%.
Okay.
And it does ramp up.
Yeah.
It'll get crazy busy right after Thanksgiving.
And so then do you foresee yourself, I don't want to say in retirement, but in your next career move, in your 5-year plan, of doing like way more, leaning way more into it?
Right.
Okay.
So one of the things at Santa Claus University, they said this is what you can do throughout the year, is one of the guys sets up dinners with people in their homes.
Oh.
Right? So he'll show up and he's still got the beard and he might have like Santa Claus shirt or something that's got Santa on it, and he'll come over and go, obviously you've prearranged it, right? So you go, oh, hey, I saw your mom. I'm out checking on some of my elves and elves on the shelf, and your mom invited me over to have dinner. And
not during Christmas time.
Not during Christmas season. Oh. And then it's time that, while mom's making dinner, she's like, you sit down with the kids and just chit-chat and talk and create, again, as Andy said, that memory.
Huh.
Right? Is that Santa's real. He came here and had fish sticks and macaroni, right? Cheese.
Yes, fish sticks and macaroni.
And we talk about what's going on. And those are the little things that you can do outside of the holiday season. And a lot of these guys also do different characters. Like the Colonel Sanders. There's one person who did.
You might need to lean into Colonel.
I might have to, but this guy would play Gandalf, and he would go as the Lord of the Rings. And then when Harry Potter came out, then he also got to play Dumbledore.
The good thing is that Gandalf and Dumbledore were very big, roby kind of stuff. So you could still have your tummy and
long beards. Yeah.
So what is your favorite memory that you have? That's what I was going to ask.
So I thought you guys were going to ask some of these kind of questions, and the one memory that I have from doing Santa Claus now, or from Santa Claus when I was younger,
doing this as Santa Claus, was at the Dell, not for the photo shoot, the first photo shoot. At the first photo shoot when we had somebody come up on the beach and said, hey, can I get a picture with you and my wife? And I said, yeah. And then he started rolling out 20s and 50s. And I was like, no. And he's like, no, here. And I said, just pay it forward.
Oh.
And then the second one was again at the Dell, which would be a great job to have there. And I was just standing out there getting pictures, and people were stopping and screaming and yelling, and I was just waving.
Were you just like walking on the street?
No. I was like upstairs at the Dell, looking down at the tree, and then you walk out now to the new part, which used to be the old front, and there's like a little upscale patio or a second level patio, and people were walking down there just standing and shooting pictures, and it's just it's that moment that they go, I saw some rock star, or I saw some movie star. And you're not going to see Santa year round, and you're not going to see him in July. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't mean the same, but in November, December, it's pretty cool.
For our non-San Diego listeners, the Dell is the famous
Hotel
Coronado Hotel.
Yeah.
Correct. Haunted, I think, too.
Oh, it's haunted.
I want to see it. So do you foresee doing more in-person ones too?
Yeah, I think I'd love to do that.
And do you have to waterproof your suit? Because I didn't even think about the pee.
So as they've recommended, you have a suit that you do with animals. If you do Santa with pets, do you do Santa with dogs? Well, I have. But I haven't done anything professionally with it. I do it for friends who go, can we get a picture?
You want to get one with Max?
Oh, God, no. Max would probably bark at you. He'd be so freaked out. We could give him some trazodone.
You can try it.
We'll give him a traz or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have those moments with kids. And there was this first year that I did it, at the other place that I work at, they asked me to be Santa Claus, and it was for their Christmas party. And I've done 2 Christmas parties with them, but the first one was a lot of adults, and after 2 drinks, it's it's that this was before Santa Claus University, and that was one of the things that I went, oh, and they would go, oh yeah, that happens all the time, but now you know how to say this is the limits of what you do.
Oh, yeah. Handsy.
Men, women, husbands, wives.
Wow.
It's all,
they're
like I said, 2 drinks.
Damn. So I guess
upside down pineapple.
Always consent. Consent. Everyone, listeners, you have to get consent.
Be respectful.
Be respectful.
Right. It's the most important from Santa.
Yeah. But that was one of those things that I didn't expect, but it happened, and I was like, my gosh.
So, go ahead.
I want to ask you the question you thought we were going to ask originally. What's your favorite Santa memory from growing up?
So my favorite Santa memory from growing up was it was, and I'll start to get a little emotional. It was after our parents divorced. It was the first Christmas after that, and like most divorce situations like that, both the parents were trying to overdo themselves. So it was like, oh my God, and I wanted a bike, and when you're in a family of 8, you get the hand-me-down and you get the broken one, and if you could fix it. And I got a bike that year that to me was brand new, but after about 3 months, some of the paint started peeling, and I realized that it was a hand-me-down bike that my parents had refurbished. But that was a great memory on top of a bad memory because, of course, they were still arguing and fighting. And going through that part was the tough part. So, as I said at the school, I said there's a lot of baggage that comes with it, and I'm trying to correct that baggage for myself.
Oh,
awesome!
I love that.
What's your all's favorite Christmas moment or gift? I want to know how well Santa did.
I don't really have any because I think the only time I've ever had a picture with Santa was like I was an adult, and it was like we had a Christmas party for the department. I worked at Target here in Encinitas, and like we went out and we had dinner, and then we got pictures with Santa, and that's the only time I've ever had a picture with Santa.
I think my favorite memory of when I was like a young kid, I always wanted snow on Christmas, and living in California, that obviously doesn't happen. But I would ask my mom every year, and I would put it on my list. I just want like snow. And one year there were like snow footprints of Santa on the carpet. But what I will always remember for the rest of my life is that my mom pulled out a snowball from the freezer, and she was like, Santa couldn't bring a snowstorm, but he got you a snowball because he knows you wanted to like have like a snowball and all that. So
nice.
And then for me, it just made me realize how loving like my parents were and like the effort they went through
to do it. Yeah.
What are you talking about? Santa brought you that.
To talk to Santa. Like, it's hard to get in contact with him.
Well, yeah, because they didn't have cell phones.
Oh, my God. In 95? Jeez. Well, I mean, they did, but they were bricks. That was what you call collect.
What about you guys?
So, for me, actually, my favorite memory is as an adult, but when my oldest son was only about 4 or 5, and he was really into Santa. So that year we videotaped. We said we're going to set a trap so we can record Santa at night. So you can go to bed now, and we'll get it on videotape. And so we set up the camera on a tripod, and then we'd stop the camera, add 2 presents, and then play the camera again, and then we'd stop the camera and add 2 presents. And so all of a sudden, if you're watching, it looks like this magical thing where the presents just automatically appeared. But it was such a cool thing.
That was like TikTok before TikTok.
Damn.
A little stop motion.
Yeah.
That's like actually really smart. I would have never thought of that. Wow, that's really cool.
It was a cool thing, and he was just enraptured because like Santa moves so fast to
cover
the whole world. You didn't even see him.
Yeah. What about you, Nick? I know you're Mormon.
Yeah.
Do you celebrate Christmas?
Yeah, it's similar to just like a lot of kids or whatever stuff. So I'll give it to you, and it's not a cop out, but I swear to God, having Santa call me on FaceTime randomly will forever be one of my greatest Santa memories because I was not expecting it at all. And all of a sudden, just Santa Claus in full.
And you were just like laying on the couch or something.
Great. But I also think that because growing up in a big family, I think that this sounds weird, but the year that I was able to sort of like figure out that it was not what I thought it was, and that I got to be on in the secret with my mom, I just felt so like I'm a part of the club now. Like,
yeah.
I know. I get to like.
Now I'm an adult.
Now I get to keep. Yeah. Now I get to help like, in like
put everything together.
The Santa, mystique to like my siblings. So that's actually really fun.
Yeah, I had that same kind of feeling because it wasn't that much of a letdown to learn it, but it was really cool to be on the side.
It made me feel like It was really
and it's a big step when you start to feel that. And with our own kids. When they got to that age, I'd always pull them off to the side and say, "This is not something you share with your siblings.
Yeah,
you do not let them find this out on their own.
Mm-hmm. Keep that to yourself."
Yeah. So one of the things that I thought was really cool from the school is to create those memories with your kids. Is you ask them to write a letter to Santa and a list of what they want, right? And then you put it in the envelope. You physically have the kid put it in the mailbox, right? Kid goes to sleep. You take the letter out, all right? Take the letter out, and you circle one that Santa's going to give them, right? And then the day of Christmas comes, you put it on the tree, just like push the paper through the bro, and you just write on there, from Santa, love. Hope I couldn't get you everything, but this is what I got you. And then the kid knows because they've mentally put the letter in the mailbox, sent it off, and then it came back because that's what I wrote.
Yeah.
Santa brought it back.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, my kids are too old. Man, I wished I'd thought of that.
I would love that.
But now you have a grandchild that you can deal with.
So yeah.
Any other questions for Santa?
Well, I wanted to know, if you've ever, met a reindeer, a real-life reindeer. But if you haven't done a lot of in-person, then maybe not.
So
if you've ever pet one.
I've actually met one, but it was when I was in the Navy in Norway, and they had reindeer there.
We met one last year.
But we couldn't pet them.
trained for
was it like a wild reindeer?
No, so it was a farm-raised reindeer that they have. It's sort of like a petting zoo, and they had it there, and you could come up and pet them. And I always thought, when I was growing up, reindeer to me looked more like deer would be in Kentucky, but they're not. When I saw the real thing, I was like,
yeah, they're kind of scary.
Yeah.
But I
look
want
a lot
pet
different.
One.
Yeah,
that was my last question.
Yeah.
All right, so Santa, tell people how they can reach you on the socials. What are your socials?
So I am on social as Coronado Santa Claus, and Facebook and Instagram is Coronado Santa Claus, and then through the links there you can request a call.
Nice.
Yeah.
So,
and then you'll donate 90%.
I donate 90% of the cost. Yeah, it's a 15-minute call.
So you're giving back.
Yeah.
I think that's my favorite part about this.
It's
giving.
So before we get into this game, I want to play with you guys.
Oh, we have I Spy, right?
Yeah. So tell me what your I Spy is.
Wait, what? Did you have something else you were going to talk about? Okay. So my I Spy is when you're at the do you ever not do the self-checkout at the grocery store?
Oh God, no.
Okay.
I try to do self-checkout as much as I possibly can so I don't have to talk to anybody.
So the self-checkout line at Sprouts was 17 million people. I was like, I'll just get in line for the regular because it was less congested.
Yeah.
And my I Spy is I feel like every time I do that, I pick the wrong line. And it's the long line. And then I see the self-checkout go past me. And every other line is flying past. But then I'm like, it's too late to leave the line because then if you leave, then that line's going to go faster.
So your I Spy is that when you do that, you're kind of in a race. It's always about winning. Like who can get through first.
I don't want to be in the grocery store that long, and it's just like, I swear to God, like I know you, Paul, share the mindset about self-checkout people, but like you got to be a pro to do the self-checkout. First time self-checkout people, they need to have their own self-checkout, like.
A novice style.
Right. Like, have you checked out before self-checkout? No. Okay, go over here. Then we'll help you. Pro, Joe and Paul, right here. You know the item code's 40111.
Boom.
Boom.
When I worked at Target, I was like, trying to do that as quickly as possible.
Do you know the codes for your produce?
I do. I don't remember them. I like if I look at it, I can be like, oh yeah.
I only know bananas is 4011. Yeah. Because that's all I usually buy.
I'll try to stay away from the grocery store as much as possible.
If I can. Really? But there are times when I do, and when I do go, I only do self-checkout. Even at Costco, when we go to Costco.
That's smart.
I don't think Andy likes going with me because I only want to do self-checkout.
I can't buy wine.
You can't buy booze.
Oh no!
That was my only I Spy.
Okay. Anybody else got I Spies?
My only I Spy is when folks don't go into the middle of the intersection before they turn left.
When they hang out?
You mean when they're required? No, they don't go in the intersection.
They don't go in the intersection.
Like when you have an unprotected green left?
Yeah.
Ugh, I feel you on
Maybe
that.
two of us can go through the light, but you're slowing things down. Go out, creep out to the middle.
It's probably Martha and Brandon.
I don't like when people go too far out.
Yeah, that's also a thing.
You go halfway. Look, you go halfway into the intersection.
Because
it's the rules.
If you're the one that's creeping out there, and all of a sudden somebody else is, you're like, hey, well, we're both here.
We're both trying to get where we need to go.
I want to know what this game is.
Okay, so we're going to go around and in a circle, and then you're going to name a movie, but change one of the words in the title to Santa. All right? So I'm going to start.
Like Christmas movies?
No, just any movie. So I'll be like, Pretty in Santa.
Pretty in Pink.
There you go.
Hold on. So any movie?
Oh my God. Joe! Any movie.
Fuck. Can we go the other way around? Okay. Yeah, do counterclockwise.
Go ahead.
Or clockwise.
We're in Australia.
They call it anti-clockwise.
The sum of all Santa.
Santa Encounters of the Third Kind.
Oh.
Independent Santa.
Lord of the Santas.
The Santa Claus.
Pretty Santa.
Harry Santa.
Damn it!
Quiz Santa.
Sarah. Santa Brockovich.
Lady Santa. Because Lady Bird.
Oh.
Harry Potter and Santa Stone.
Oh.
Miracle on 34th Santa.
Oh.
Hocus Santa.
Oh my God, Nightmare on Santa Street. I don't know any movies.
Hunchback of Notre Santa.
Gone with the Santa.
Oh.
A Santa Carol.
Oh.
I'm blanking out.
Oh, Nick!
I'm out. All right, Joe.
My Santa Fat Greek Wedding.
This should be my big fat Santa wedding.
No! Santa's Greek. Opa!
Mama Santa. Instead of Mamma Mia.
Oh.
Claus. Santa Claus.
Santa's on a plane.
Santa's on a plane.
Go.
Nope. Golden Santa.
Oh. Golden Santa.
GoldenEye.
GoldenEye.
I don't know if I should do Mean Santa or Santa Girls for Mean Girls.
See, and I'm having the same dichotomy in my head because I'm like, I want to do Die Hard, but either way it goes,
Die
it's not a good one. All right,
I like
that was
Santa
fun.
Hard.
That was fun, guys. Thank you so much. Santa, for being on our podcast. We appreciate it. Even though this time of year is so busy for you.
Thanks for having me.
We appreciate it.
Merry
everyone's got to go ho ho home now.
You don't have to go ho ho home, but you can't stay
here. Yeah.
All right, everyone. Have a great week.
Special thanks to Andrew Smith and Nick Stone for producing the show. If you like us, please follow us at tugayspod on Instagram and visit us online at tugayspod.com. You can find us anywhere you can stream podcasts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know topics you'd like to hear. And always remember, stay safe, stay classy, stay sassy, and always stay a little bit trashy. See you next week.